Next News, breaking news.
Got some great news for you. A traitor has been caught. FBI Director Kash Patel just confirmed the arrest of a former Special Operations Command employee who was feeding classified military secrets to the press, potentially putting American soldiers' lives in grave danger. Her name? Courtney Williams, an Army veteran who worked alongside Delta Force at Fort Bragg. But here's what the mainstream media will not tell you. This leak may be connected to something far more sinister, including intelligence related to an alleged assassination attempt on the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. The swamp is being drained, and the rats are being exposed. What classified secrets did she spill, and how many Americans' lives were put at risk? Now think about what this means for every single American service member deployed overseas right now. When classified information about our most elite special operations forces gets leaked to journalists, it's not just a paperwork violation, it's a death sentence waiting to happen. Our Delta Force operations, they work in the shadows for a reason. Their identities, their methods, their locations, all of it is kept secret because our enemies would love nothing more than to identify and eliminate these American heroes. Courtney Williams allegedly worked for 8 years with Delta Force, maintaining operational cover for our nation's most secretive warriors. She knew everything. And according to federal charges, she was handing that information over to journalists. And President Trump made it crystal clear on Monday when he said the administration is hunting down every single leaker, even going after media companies and telling them to give up their sources or face jail time. This is what America First leadership looks like. No more games, no more letting traitors walk free while our soldiers pay the price. The Trump administration is finally threatening and treating national security betrayals with the seriousness that they deserve. Now, speaking of protecting what matters most, when our own government insiders can't be trusted to keep secrets safe, it's a reminder that we need to be prepared for anything. If a major disruption happened tomorrow and you couldn't get to the store, how long would you actually last with what's in your house right now? Think about it. With classified leaks exposing our military operations and threats emerging from every direction, self-reliance isn't just smart, it's essential. If your answer is anything less than a month, you need to check out our friends at My Patriot Supply. They're America's #1 preparedness company with over 3 million satisfied customers who understand that hoping for the best while preparing for the worst is the Patriot way. Right now, when you go to preparewithgary.com, their best-selling 4-week emergency food supply comes with an additional week of food free. That's 5 weeks of security and peace of mind for your family. Head to preparewithgary.com right now because in times like these, being prepared isn't paranoid, it's patriotic. Now here's where the story takes an even darker turn that the establishment press is completely ignoring. Investigative journalist George Webb claims that Courtney Williams was his source for explosive information about spy devices used at Fort Huachuca. Devices allegedly connected to what he describes as an attempted assassination plot against Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Webb says he's been quoting from the book Williams contributed to for 5 months. If these connections are verified, we're not just talking about a leaker. We're potentially looking at someone connected to a web of deep state operations targeting Trump's own cabinet. Check this out. Former SOCOM employee arrested for leaking classified secrets to journalists has been identified as Courtney Williams. U.S. Army veteran Nick Sortor says give her the maximum penalty. Putting our troops' lives at risk should be met with harsh punishment. Listen to this.
Security clearance while she worked with Delta Force there with the Army in Fort Bragg. She's the whistleblower that called out the maltreatment that she was experiencing while working there. But the feds believe she was giving away a lot more than just workplace secrets that could have put soldiers' lives at risk.
For 8 years, Courtney Williams worked in the Army's Delta Force at Fort Bragg, behind-the-scenes work to help maintain cover for one of the military's most secretive groups. But now she's being accused of leaking top-secret information to a journalist that could have put soldiers' lives at risk. Williams was quoted in Seth Harp's book, The Fort Bragg Cartel.
My book is critical of these institutions because I think that waging war in secrecy for 20 years gives rise to a host of cultural problems. that spill over into communities like Fayetteville.
WRAL interviewed Harp about the book in October. Williams was quoted extensively when referring to a toxic work environment within Delta Force, where she claimed she was sexually harassed and discriminated against while also sharing information about work she would do. A criminal complaint filed today indicates she had concerns about how Harp's reporting could affect her, telling her mother, "I might actually get arrested," and also telling Harp, "I would definitely have been concerned with the amount of classified information being disclosed." She continued, saying in part, "I'm taking deep breaths, but have a feeling this is going to be more of a nightmare for my children than not." Harp declined an interview but sent me a statement calling this a vindictive act of retaliation and saying in part, "Former Delta Force operators disclose national defense information on podcasts and YouTube shows every day, but the government is going after Courtney for the sole reason that she exposed sexual harassment and gender discrimination in the unit."
So the Eastern District of North Carolina says they will be releasing some sort of press release sometime soon, but don't have a public comment to give me at this point. I have also reached out.
Yeah. Courtney Williams, once entrenched in the secrets of Delta Force, is now under fire for allegedly leaking crucial information. Now we're going to delve into the claims about spy devices and assassination plots with investigative journalist George Webb. Arrested leaker Courtney Williams was my source for Fort Bragg, JSOC spy devices Mitch Snow used at Fort Huachuca for Hegseth attempted assassination. I've been quoting the book for 5 months, including Mitch's coast-to-coast bike gang.
Okay, hello everybody, George Webb, Courtney Williams now. Courtney Williams, classified information. What was the classified information? It was the book that I read and that I've been quoting from about Seth Harp, about JSOC, and JSOC using electronic devices like the ones Mitch had. You can place them around like little pens, like pen cameras, 5 or 6 of them, and you can place them for remote viewing, remote spying, to make sure that when you detonate a bomb, that the person that you're targeting, like Pete Hegseth, is there, that this happened, right, at Fort Huachuca. And the devices communicate with low energy Bluetooth. Those devices weren't just in the Candlewood. They were also in the target area when the bomb dogs were called out. So they have that evidence. I don't know why, when Joe Kent was there at National Counterterrorism, he didn't decide to investigate any of this stuff before he quit, right? But he was in communication with our good friend Mitch, the Unabomber, and so forth. So wait a minute. I thought you were investigating the Charlie Kirk's murder. I thought you were investigating Fort Huachuca. We haven't heard anything from our good friend Joe Kent about the secret communications. We had to hear that from Mitch, the secret communications between Joe Kent. Again, these spy devices, they're every bit as capable as the FBI devices, that they can actually place these like a pen and communicate with them. And you can see if your target's sitting at the spot at the table, at the head of the table, when they sit down, when you do the remote detonation. That is the kind of advanced spy devices that the 82nd JSOC Delta Force has. That was in the book. If you read Seth Harp's book, I've been quoting it ever since Mitch placed the devices, and he said he placed the devices. That's the incredible part everybody's missed. That was out there. I reported that 4 months ago, and now today she's up on the carpet for leaking classified information. Seth Harp in the book is about Fort Bragg and the drug running of the coast-to-coast bike gang at Fort Bragg, and that's what I've been quoting the last 6 months. Everybody said I made it up. Now today she's in jail.
Wow. George Webb has been sounding the alarm about espionage devices and their deadly potential. Now Courtney Williams faces arrest. The focus shifts to the FBI crackdown on those leaking sensitive national defense information. The FBI has arrested a former U.S. Special Operations Command employee leaking classified information, according to Kash Patel. Here's the president at the briefing just earlier this week when I was in the room when he said it.
As you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour. Then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker. And talked about there's somebody missing. They basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out because we're going to go to the media company that released it, and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who, and you know who we're talking about, because some things you can't do, because when they did that, all of a sudden, the entire country of Iran knew that there was a pilot that was somewhere on their land that was fighting for his life. And it also made it much more difficult for the pilots and for the people going in to search for him. All of a sudden, they know that there's somebody out there. They see all these planes coming in. It became a much more difficult operation because a leaker leaked that we have one, we've rescued one, but there's another one out there that we're trying to get. So actually, the country, Iran, put out a major notice, you all saw it, offering a very big award for anybody that captures the pilot. So in addition to a hostile, very talented, very good, very evil military, we had millions of people trying to get an award.
President Trump from the briefing room. The pressure mounts as the FBI makes decisive moves against Courtney Williams for leaking critical military information. Kash Patel, case update. Former Army employee, top secret clearance holder arrested and charged with leaking classified national defense information. This does mark a pivotal moment. The implications of trust and betrayal extend beyond a veteran. James Carville delivers a warning to prominent figures in Washington, underscoring the growing challenges. Yeah, this is a post here. This is her, apparently. She was charged on Wednesday. Federal charges for communicating and transmitting national classified defense information. Here is James Carville. Resist the mainstream. Carville delivers a message to Trump and Hegseth. Everybody around you is leaking, and it's only going to get worse. You can trust nobody. The walls are closing in on you because people hate you. Wow.
I think I agree with all of this, but I think the really, really powerful, significant story here is that the Maggie and Jonathan Swain story, everybody is leaking. And by the way, they have a book coming out in June. This is right. Nothing compared to what you're going to see. And I got news for Trump and Pete Hegseth. Everybody around you is leaking. The most secret stuff, they're all calling and telling, and they're all setting themselves up so that history will try to clear them. It's only beginning. It's only going to get worse. And the commentators that say it's a great Trump picture, it's idiots. And look around. Trump, you can trust nobody. Nobody. You understand? Pete, you can trust nobody. The walls are closing in on you. People hate you. They're leaking. They're calling people. And you got good reporters like Maggie and Jonathan Swain. By the way, he's a very, very good reporter. I did a bit with him a few years ago. And he's got tremendous sources in there. And they all ratting everybody out. This is going to continue to be hopefully I don't get by too many people killed over it. This is going to be a hugely entertaining story going forward. I'll tell you that.
Entertaining, really? Okay. This is what it really comes down to. The Trump administration inherited a national security apparatus riddled with traitors, leakers, and deep state operatives who think they answer to no one. For years under previous administrations, these people operated with impunity, leaking classified information to their friends and the media whenever it suited their political agenda. Those days are over. FBI Director Kash Patel and President Trump are systematically dismantling this network of betrayal. They're sending a very clear message. If you compromise American national security, if you put our troops in danger, you will be found, you will be arrested, and you will face the maximum penalty. This is accountability. This is justice, and this is what happens when patriots finally take back control of our government. So the swamp creatures thought they could operate in darkness forever. They thought the rules didn't apply to them. Courtney Williams is learning the hard way that under President Trump, treason has consequences. We're going to sail over this story as more details emerge about just how deep this betrayal goes and who else might be connected. So make sure you share this video with every patriot you know, because the mainstream media, they're going to bury the story as fast as they can. And drop a comment and tell me, should military leakers who endanger our troops face the maximum penalty, yes or no? I want to hear from you. Since you made it to the end of the video, text raw feed 844-840-4963. That's how you and I stay connected. That's how we bypass the algorithm that suppresses our content. And that's how you get the notifications directly from me when YouTube fails you. I will not fail you. And if you want to show your support for real journalism that puts America first, check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and remember, together, we're the news now. Stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now. You know out.